Thank you for your patience. I will now hand it over to Heitek's very own Siemens specialist, John Hunt, to get us started. Take it away, John.
Well, thank you, Brandon. I appreciate everybody joining today. Like you said, my name is John Hunt. I started with Heitek back in August, and based out of I'd say the Arizona location, but I work remote. So I just want everybody to know that. Prior to Heitek, well, let me say about 2 years prior to Heitek, I was on the automation side with Siemens for 21.5 years. So anyway, let's get started on this WinCC Unified System. Okay, so when we look at WinCC Unified System, right here we're going to look at the kind of the DNA for it for visualization. And so we talk about technology. It's basically the latest web technology to run anything or any device on the unified system. And then on the scalability side of it, from a panel up to a PC or a unified visualization system like a SCADA system. Then anywhere, so globally, wherever your HMI is, it could be on your premises, or it could be on an edge, or it could be on a cloud. And then the integration with the unified system are plant intelligent options also, and open interface, which make WinCC Unified a integration platform for the digital factory of the future. So this is what we're going to talk about today. What I haven't put up here yet, but we're going to go through a little bit of V17 on the engineering side of it. But then we'll get into the unified comfort panels, and then the PCs, and then view of things. I don't know how many people have seen this before. It's actually pretty cool. And then the industrial edge, and it is actually built into the runtime of the system. All right, so first we will get into the engineering V17 portal, and then from there we'll move into, like I mentioned before, the panels, the PC and stuff. Because everything is done in the portal, and there's a lot of things that you can do we're going to talk about today in the portal that helps you with your engineering time, getting it done faster, etc. Okay, so with WinCC Unified, because it's really web-based, HTML, that's the backbone of designing your websites, right? And because of that, it doesn't really matter when you go to look at this website, if it's on a PC, if it's on a Mac, it really doesn't make any difference. So that's one thing that really makes this nice when you want to bring in clients, etc. And so the other thing is the scaling vector graphics. Prior to this, let's say if you had a comfort panel, it's a 7-inch panel, and you wanted to take the screen from that 7-inch panel and move it up to a 22-inch panel. Well, there was no way to do that. So you had to basically start over and do it on whatever panel you were going to move this to. And it could be to a multi-touch panel also. So then the other thing, the scripting inside the Unified is JavaScript. So JavaScript is real popular in the website community, and basically the technology to bring data back in and forth. So we'll get to that a little bit later here. And then the other thing is, if you want to, let's say I was mentioning before, like a tablet or etc. So each panel or PC basically is a server, and everything else is a client to it. So with you can connect, like I said, phones. It doesn't really make any difference here. So without any plugins, before, with comfort panels, you had to use smart service, and but that was used VNC, etc. And it was limited to what you could do, maybe one device at a time. So on the right-hand side here, with dynamic scaling, vector graphics, and custom web controls that you can make up your on your HMI. So if we look at here, and what it does is it gives you the capability of going into the properties. So let's see a little button up there that's green, and you said, you know what, I really need to make that blue, so I'm just going to go into the properties and change that. So it gives you a lot of things that you can do with objects that you're using and be able to change the looks and the sizes and etc. on that. So once again, scripting is done in JavaScript, and it does a lot of things for you. It handles data, objects, etc. And there's scripts that are already in the portal that you can use. And when you look at the screen right here, I noticed something kind of funny. I was looking at the computer and the JavaScript in the yellow here, and I was looking at the code in the back, and I go, oh, that's not JavaScript. Anyway, so later on, I found another scripting language, and I just found out that that's the backplane for everything Siemens does on these computers. So anyway, it's kind of funny to me. Okay, so 0 installations to clients. So panels have the capability of bringing clients into them, no plugins, etc. And same thing on the PCs. And then remote access. You can also, just as a client, you have the option of having to be able to operate the equipment or just monitor it. And we'll get into that a little bit later on. And then there's security built in, and HTTPS and certified certificates, etc. And I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but on the 1500s, it's version 2.9, and then I believe on the 1200s it's 4.9. That there's this UMAC, which is a user management and access control. So basically, what happens when you go onto your processor and you want to start using it, it tells you that you need to put passwords in there. Or you have to say, well, right now I'm not going to put any passwords on it. But what it allows you to do is to put the security between the PLC and the HMI, because the communication between the HMI and the PLC is where the man in the middle can really hit it the hardest, because it's always communicating back and forth with that. So this software gives you the capability to say who can communicate between the PLC and the software, etc. And you can put different levels of it. So it's just a added secure software that's just came out. So another kind of cool thing here. So let's say we've got 3 machines here down on the bottom, and it looks close here, but I mean, these machines could be 200, 300 feet apart. It really doesn't make any difference. And then up on the top with the PC, we've got the supervision up there, and they can see everything that's happening. So, but let's say we look at the one in the middle right here. Let's see if I can find my mouse. Right here. There it is. So machine B looks like it has a temperature problem, but how's A going to know that's happening? Is it going to start slowing down as they go from one machine to the next machine to the next machine? Well, the guy up in the supervisor, but he's probably up in a room somewhere. He's looking at that, but the other two people that are running the machines on the panels can't really see it. So with Unified, you can link screens to different panels. Okay? So you set that up, download it, and then it's in the it's going to be set to whatever whatever panels you put it to. So what can happen now is, so we've got these 3 machines, and we look here in the middle, B, got a little temperature problem, and so now on A, he can push that and he can see what's happening. So this is a pretty cool, and so it can be any type of screens that you want to show up on there, and it's just you just link it and it's done. So it's not a lot of programming, etc. And I think that's a pretty cool thing right there. Okay, so CVARC, I don't know how many people have heard of this before. I used it, oh gosh, years ago on a training. And what it does for you is, this is basically for a customer that doesn't do the exact same thing every time. So there's like little differences, but it has tons of graphics, you know, on their panels or on their PCs. So what the CVARC does for you is you can set up, okay, if I have some tanks, if I have motors, pipes, any type of monitoring. It could be a push button, it doesn't matter at all. And what you can do is, in this software, you can tell what you want to put on what screen, where it goes on that screen, and then once you compile this and say go, it will develop all of your screens that you have on your HMI, and it does it in seconds. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's not a free tool, obviously, but it can save you a lot of time if you're doing tons of graphics, etc. And it's a pretty nice tool. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of Openness, the TIA Portal. You can also bring in some of your HMI and bring in your function blocks, your data blocks, your whole program, and you have to do some coding in like .NET and then also Excel. You can use Excel, and so basically, once you do this and you compile everything, it'll go right into the portal and then build your program for you and build your HMIs for you. The other thing that is pretty nice with Openness, and before you can use it, you have to go into your Microsoft, and I can't remember exactly where you set this up at, but on the support side, it'll tell you. It's just like a couple clicks inside the in Microsoft software. But if you use TIA selection tool, and let's say that you have 1500 and you have all your I/O in it, and it's on this rack, everything like that. So normally you take it and bring it in and get all the part numbers and then order the part numbers. But one other thing that you can do with the Openness is you can take that I/O and export it into your project in the portal. So that's another time saver. All right, so what right now which PLCs do we communicate with? Of course, the S7 PLCs, Modicon, Allen Bradley, Mitsubishi, Omron, and then of course we have OPC UA, and so we can communicate that way. If you want to do logging and saving data, you can use SQL Server and also Excel for alarms and some other things that you want to put out. And this is going to get better and better as it goes along. when we're looking at remote clients, so a HMI comfort panel offers one client for remote operation, one client, and for remote operation, 3 max. And then each PC offers a local interface plus 1 client and remote operation or monitoring. And we'll see this a little bit later as we move on. But so that gives you that capability. So right now we're going to get into the comfort panels. So as we look here, we have a comfort panel and a tablet, or it could be another panel. That could be the client to it. So basically everything we talked about here so far, the industrial edge, web controls, graphics, JavaScript, it's there for all the different devices. So if we look back at the first comfort panels, you'll see 12 different 12 devices there, either key or touch. And then when we get over to the unified comfort panels, there's 8 devices, all multi-touch. All right. So the sizes are pretty much the same, except for they left out the 4-inch. Don't know why, but maybe they weren't selling a lot of them. But anyway, so we have 7-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch, 15-inch, 19-inch, and 22-inch. And then below this, you can see the resolution of it and actually what the size is from diagonally on the screen itself. So if you're going to replace the existing comfort panels with the multi-panels, then if you look here, there's 2 places where you can just drop them in. So the 7-inch, drop it right in, 12-inch, drop it right in. And now they say there's 9-inch, but they're I always call them 10-inch anyway. But that one actually requires a larger cutout to put that one in. And then everything else here, they're coming out. I'm not sure if they brought it out or not. I've seen where it says coming soon, or I haven't really seen that it's there, but I'm going to check into it. There's a frame that when you pull the comfort panel out, you put this frame around, and then the panel, the new panel, will mount right to the cabinet door or wherever it's at. So this part here really is pretty cool. So right here on the comfort side, you'll see 7 to 12 and 15 to 22, and you'll see the same thing over here on this side. So connections on the old version of it, 8 PLCs, but now it's up to 16. And the 16 means every panel, right? So, and then tags, okay, if it was 7 to 12, it's 2048, and then if it's larger, it was 4096. Well, it doesn't matter now. From 7 to 22, it's going to be 8,000 tags. Same thing here, 9,000 alarms. The logs are the same, 50, 50. And then logging tags, 2048, now it's up to 5,000 of them. Scripts, and the smaller one had 100 and then 200. Now every one of them has 600. Trends, same thing, 300, 400, now it's up to 600. Trend control, 8, now 20, every single one. Text and graphic lists, 500, now there's 750. Screens, same thing, 500 before, 750, now it's up to 1,200. Oh, shoot, darn it. Can't see this. Let me see if I hide this. I don't know if that's gonna. Yes, okay, good. Wasn't sure. I didn't wanted to knock my presentation off. So now the thing that's different, and this is because of the size of the screen itself, is how many objects you can put on it. Okay, so it's 800 and 1200, and then tags per screen, 600 to 800. So I think that's really pretty cool because we get all the functionality from the big one in the small one. So it's really pretty cool. And then of course, you know, everybody knows how to work on the screens and open them up, pan and zoom in, etc. Well, this one, you know, it's an industrial panel, of course, so it's got hardened glass on it. It does have glove operation, and then anti-reflective bright glass for readability, and then a detection fault in case somebody tries to put the palm of their hands on there. And, you know, all the different gestures, you can swipe, etc., zoom in. So if you want to look at a trend, you can zoom it in and look at it, or if you want to scroll, panning through alarms, texts, documents. So nothing new to anybody. Now, you have two options here. The silver frame right here is the one that has the logo on it and the SIMATIC HMI. So if the customer does not want any branding on it, you can also get it with this black frame. Okay. And that is in all the different sizes. So here's that coming soon thing. But so this is for the frame. Tools like a pen holder, USB mouse, keyboard for the panel, or the PC, well, the panel actually, I'm sorry. And then if you want to put protective film over the screen for all the different sizes, SD cards and USB flash for storage. So these are the frames here. You can see around here that they'll mount to the front of a panel, etc. So what is already some of the things that are already loaded on it? So they're using Google Chrome and Media Player. Now Office Libre, this is a German Office, you know, like Microsoft Office. It's actually a free software. You can download it. Well, that's already on here. And same thing with the PDF viewer. I'm not going to try to pronounce that word. I'm just not that great at it. So I'm just going to let that go. But it's also a free software that you can put on this panel, but that it's already pre-installed. Okay, so I mentioned a little bit in the beginning about Smart Server, and that was how we were able to connect from one panel to another panel and bring that, you know, look at that screen. And so, but it would only give you one-to-one, okay? So if I have my panel here and then I want to have some clients out there, I can have multiple clients connected to that. And so it gives you a lot more flexibility. You don't have to check anything inside in the panel, say, okay, yeah, I want to use Smart Server. It just automatically happens. The Edge, we were talking about that, is, like I said, built into the real-time portion of it. It is a little bit limited. I don't know exactly all the limits on it, but it is functional right now. And then they're moving on further to you know, get to MindSphere, and so that you can send everything, you know, send things up to MindSphere if you'd like to also. So a lot of things are coming along. I mean, it's a pretty new software still, so you know, they're working on it all the time, and new things are going to be coming out all the time. So when you test it on the Edge, you can sit here and do your demo test, development, etc. But then when it goes into production, then you have to put the certificate of license on it, okay? Okay, I don't know how many people have used MQTT. Basically what it is, it's, they call it a broker. So the broker sits in the middle, and that broker can go out to PLCs, the HMIs, it can go pick up information from all these different machines on the factory floor, and basically it works on it being the broker, and then a device subscribes to it, and it has its IP address. So, excuse me. So what happens is it goes out and it reads this information and brings it into the broker, and then the broker sends it up to the cloud. So next to it now, you see this flow chart, which is it turns out to be Node-RED. And with Node-RED, you can say, you know, I want to connect to this PLC, and I want to get this out of it. Or, I mean, there's so many things you can do with it just by setting up these flow charts. It's kind of a long, deeper thing to get into, but go out and check out Node-RED and MQTT. I think you'll be surprised. I worked on it with a distribution center, and we were reading the barcodes, and so we'd read the barcode and made sure it had the right destinations signed to it, because they were sending things out to FedEx, UPS, the mail, etc. And so it went up to the server, and the server validated it and would let it go through. If not, it would go through a different scanner and put a new label on it. So I mean, it was pretty cool. And then Siemens has a watch called the Notifier, and then so you can get this information on your watch, on your wrist, as you're walking around the factory. For security reasons, they talk about here to deactivate your USB or your SIM card if you're not using it, because somebody can plug a USB and, you know, hack the thing out. You know, same thing if you have a port there that you're not using, shut the port off. Same thing on the SNMP and transferring. You can always set, you know, bring the edge down if you're not using it. So there's a lot of different tools now. And I mentioned the other one also, the UMAC. But, you know, this is just because everybody's concerned, of course, about security and not getting hacked and take your information. All right. So, PCs. So just like the panel, the clients are going to be more clients available to you on a PC than it's going to be just a panel. So you can see here that there's two types. There's the monitoring and operating. So here you can start 1, 3, 10, 30, 100. You can add them up for more if you need them. Same thing with the client side of it. So that's 1, 3, and 10. Okay. So these are separate. Okay. Okay. So for logging, and so over here on the bottom it said tag logging, and I go look at what's this word here. So I looked it up, and it's license. Okay. Yeah, the valid license. And so here are the different tags for logging. So on the comfort panels, you get 5,000 tags built into it. On the PCs, you can go up to 5,000 tags, but you have to purchase that in different, 100, 500, 1,000, 5,000, and it can be, countable up. So I could go, 500 and 100 and make 600 if I needed that. But the limit is 5,000. Okay, we're talking about different types of plant intelligence. So audit trails is one of them. There's other things like calendars, etc. We're not going to go real too deep into any of these. But an audit trail basically, it can tell you like, okay, who's the operator of the machine? How many parts did they make that day? How many scrap units did they have that day? How many times did the machine shut down, etc. So you can do that and then send that information over, and every day you can print out a report. And you know, if you're running out of metal that you're running through this machine, you can send this up to an MES system or ERP system up there, so they can order more product to run through that machine. So calendars, you know, you can ship calendars, and there's there's a lot of different things that we can do. The one thing that's not in there on the audit side is, which I'm sure will be coming later, is the capability if anybody makes a program change to the software. That can be noted later, but that portion of it's not in here yet. So anyway, we can set up calendars and go through the different shops, different parts of the system, and then, you know, down here is where, you know, all the machines are working and stuff. So anyway, these are all available, but I didn't want to bring too many of them in here because we have an hour. Okay, view of things. This is kind of cool. Well, I think it's kind of cool. So anyway, so you have a machine, and so this is the panel on the machine. It's the operators running this, you know, who knows, 24/7 day, different operators, 3 shifts, let's say. And, you know, so they're running the machine. But then let's say that you want to calibrate this machine, and you don't want to, you know, get into his panel in case he needs it for something. What you can do is use the web server in the 1500. So now it has to be a 1500, any family of the 1500. So it can be, you know, the one we're looking here, or the ET200SP processor, the 1510 and 1512, or the open controller with the PC on it, etc. It can be used for this. So basically what happens is we build a website inside the processor with what you need for, let's say if we're doing, you know, some kind of calibration. It's going to give you a screen just like you're looking at that tablet, like you're looking at the either the PC or the panel right there. Well, it looks like a panel. So if you look over here on the left-hand side, and this is also a you have to order this to use it, so you can see view of things here. So we have the processor here. We go and set up the web page in it, and once we do that, and then put the graphic stuff on it, and then you can get with your phone, go to the IP, put your password in, and you can get that information on your phone. And you can set it up for a lot of different things that you want to do with it. You get a total of, it has to be 2.9 firmware to work. You can have 10 screens with 100 tags, which is not too bad. So this is, I just took, this is a screenshot of somebody else has done. So, you know, stack lights in here, fans, push buttons, whatever. So this is really, I think it's really cool because you just walk up there to the machine, like I said, hit your phone, connect to it, and you're ready to work. So it's just like you're working on a panel, really. You just go grab the devices that you want to show on that panel, you know, like the stack light, etc., and put your tags in for it. And then you do need the engineering license on the processor in that you can load down on the TIA Portal, not on the processor, on your yeah, I think it is for the processor. Okay, so right now we have 5 WinCCs. So on the left side here, sorry about this screenshot here with a little thing on it on the mouse. But anyway, WinCC Advanced, that goes up to a PC itself. And then, so just process the WinCC Professional, which is actually more of a small SCADA system. And then Unified is sitting here right in the middle. It's you know, from medium small up to semi-large right now. And then WinCC V7, which is V7.5 Service Pack 2. And then WinCC OA is at 3.18. So these other ones are not going to disappear in the near future. It's as Unified grows, they're still going to continue to support all these other different WinCCs. And then eventually it will, I see it getting rid of Professional and V7. I don't think OA will be going away. It's just too powerful. So anyway. Okay, so there's some tutorials out here, and you'll get the recording of this, and you can look up these URLs. So anyway, there's a tutorial center, template suite, switching guidelines, etc. on here. On the edge portion of it, you can also get some training on it, and you'll notice right here, comfort panels, MQTT, Node-RED, email, etc. So if you're interested in this, I'd check it out if you haven't used it already, because it is a very pretty cool tool. Okay, performance, let's see, what is this? To analyze and optimize machines on the panel, and then energy management. It looks like these two are free right now until next month. So there's also some examples, some application examples that you can go and download and use them and check them out, and so you don't have to start from scratch on it. The starter kits, V7 Comfort, comes with a cable, memory card, protective film, and the edge license on it. And then you can also get the tools. You see here, they're saying that this frame is still here, so I'm just they're in Industry Mall now, but I've got to check it out. And these are the different part numbers for the starter kits on the panels. So 7, 10, 12, 15, 19, 22. And then you can get some IPC packages also, and with different runtimes on them, clients, etc. here, and tag logging, and then your part numbers here. It says it cannot be ordered on the 127E, 227, 277. It needs a little bit more horsepower. Okay, that's it right now. And if anybody has any questions, then we can move forward. Brandon?
I have gone ahead and unmuted everybody, so if they did want to speak, they have the ability to. Other than that, if we don't have any questions, we'll give it a couple minutes here, but if you don't have any questions, we'll go ahead and conclude. All right, so if there are no questions, we want to thank you guys for attending. Thank you, John and Siemens, for partnering with us, and thanks for the education and the insight. And to our guests, we want to thank you guys for your participation and for joining us. We hope this information was valuable and you thought it was informative. Have a great day.
Thank you, guys.